harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. Introduce yourself to the people, man.
So I want to start out by saying I like that. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. You feel what I'm saying? I stand by that.
Yes,
I'm just hearing that for the first time, but I actually live and stand by that. So I'm Wesley Hawkins, the founder and director of the organization called the No Leader Project. We do a lot of youth organizing. We do school visits, home visits, temporary housing, food, clothes, a holistic approach of how to get young men and young ladies on their feet and get them into better positions in life. Mm-hmm. I am also the author of the book called Dear No Leader, The Evolution of an Addict's Son. This book talks about a lot of hardships and things like that. Also gives many sorts of success stories. I am an activist, community leader, and business owner in Baltimore City, born and raised in Baltimore. And I do, a whole lot of things in my city and in my community. I'm going to pass the mic to my young boy who came out with me.
How you doing? My name is Larry Thompson. I am one of Mr. Wesley mentees. I am in this program, No Leadership Program, a very unique program. Help out the community, also be there and support each other as a black community.
That's all right, man. I'm loving it. So this notion of, hardships, because I know that you had highlighted that and you was talking about that as well. How was it, like growing up, because you guys are from Baltimore, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so how is it like in Baltimore? And I know it's in Maryland, but people probably, think it's a whole nother place. But how is Baltimore?
So it's different things about the city, depending on, how you grew up and where you grew up at.
Okay.
I tend to say there's 2 Baltimores. Some people might break it down in 3 Baltimores. Okay. And what I mean by that is the communities where it's primarily black and primarily people of color, a lot of those communities are stricken with high levels of poverty, drugs, violence, abandoned houses, prostitution. You know how the hood and the ghettos are, right. And when people do their documentaries or their stories or on YouTube and stuff like that. Right. But Baltimore is really, really a gritty city. Mm. Then you have those pockets where it's primarily white communities, and they have all the resources. They got all the good schools. They got the expensive houses. They got the good markets and stuff like that. That's why I say it's 2 Baltimores. But some people might say it's 3 Baltimores because, again, you do have that, I would say, middle class where it's a mixture of white, black, Hispanic, Latinos, Asian, and they kind of a level playing field of people who just doing okay. But, majority of, the black and brown people that live in Baltimore that grow up and live in the hood, man, we faced with a lot of crime, a lot of violence, a lot of drug dealing and drug abuse. Just a lot of, things of you just trying to survive every day. Yeah. We average over 300 murders for the past 7 years straight, but Baltimore is known for the crime and the violence and stuff like that. So, my program is a program that's trying to fight against that.
Right, absolutely, and you definitely are doing that. So how did you connect with him?
Oh, the way I connected with Wesley was I was in the school. Mind you, I was going through a terrible time. Like, I was in and out of school, skipping school, and I was in a relationship, hard relationship. So around the time I was going at it with my parents, and we was, bumping heads a lot until I met someone in the school, which is him, and he came to me personally. Out of everybody that was there, everybody that was in the room, they was people that had been around money. Mind you, I never been around money. I never even knew how to even start a business or where to begin at. So it's like he showed me routes and alternatives. So he came up to me as a personal man and was like, look, like, take my number down, holler at me. And one night I was in a stressful moment and I called him out, and he came out with Elijah at 11 o'clock at night. Mind you, I'm in a bad neighborhood, like one of the worst neighborhoods in Baltimore City. The crime rate is high, so they don't even report it on the news. So it's like, yeah. So he came out there, and after that I knew, like, I could respect him and I could trust his word, and he a man his word, and I just like, all right, I rolled up for the rest of his life.
That's what's up.
Stuff like that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but real quick, stuff like that is important. When you come from communities and neighborhoods and situations that we come from and how we grow up, one of the main things is, can you trust this person? Can you rely on this person? Can you depend on this person? Do you have a bond or relationship with this person? Is it consistent? And with the young men and young ladies in my program, they've been with me for years. You know what I'm saying? So if they call me and they really need me and it's something I need to get to, It don't matter if it was 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. You know, my family and my lady, my community will tell you, I done been out there in the middle of the night, early in the morning for my kids, trying to make sure they good. If they get locked up or detained by the police and they can get to a phone and call me real quick, I'm going to the station. You know what I'm saying? If it's a fight in the community and they going to do something in the community and they can call me, I'm going down there. If it's, you know, they at work and there's problems, I try to help them navigate through life because I know that's what I needed, but I never had that for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was going to lead me to that too, because I was just basically saying that, you know, being who you needed when you was younger, right? And I think that's what the main focus is too, because when we talk about this, like me, I'm from Prince George's County, you know, and it's similar, you know, to certain neighborhoods and things of that nature too, where you may not have the guidance. You have youngins in the school, you know, acting a fool or whatever it is, and they just need somebody to talk to. So for you to find somebody to talk to in a time of need, you know, that's God willing, you know, God driven too.
It was like I was already going through so many situations in the school. It was like I was at a point where I was ready to give up, and then they had a meeting for the school, and it was like it's some people we were like y'all to meet, and these people already been through situations like y'all. They done been through harmful situations. They done been harmed. They done fought for their life. They done been through situations that you couldn't even imagine. So when he stepped up to that plate like a man, you feel me? I opened my eyes like, yo, loyalty is out there, and there's people out there that do show loyalty and respect and willing to put their life on the line for you, because like I said, my neighborhood at the time, the crime rate was so up that they ain't even reporting it. So it was every other night someone is being killed, or every other day someone being robbed or break-ins. So it was like, yeah, I really respect them, and that's why I'll forever ride with Mr. Wesley. Like that's my big
what's
brother.
up. That's what's up. Because I think also too, like, you know, the notion of a circle in a cage. I think your environment and atmosphere are two different things, right? Like. Yeah. Our environment, we look at, you know, the struggle, the survival tactics and things that we're accustomed to doing. And then, you know, we have to also live too. You know, we want to live, we want to do these nice things, we want to be able to give. So what were some of those trials and tribulations early that you went through, Mr. West?
So I grew up with 2 drug addict parents. I was born a drug addicted baby. I was born premature. Meaning, you know, when my mom was pregnant with me, she was still getting high, right? So when she gave birth to me, you know, I was, you know, premature. I was small. I was a little sickly at the time. They had to keep me in an incubator. So I look at it as I came into this world fighting for my life. I came out the womb fighting for survival. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So I had to get out of that condition as a newborn baby. As soon as I came out of my mother's womb, came into this world, I grew into hard times, hardships, trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? And then when we went back to the home in the community, I've lived in abandoned houses. I've been homeless. I've lived on the street. I watched my mother, you know, smoke crack cocaine my entire childhood. I watched my mother do certain things that, is not okay and that you should never see a mother or parent do. But I experienced those things. Right. So, you know, for me, I grew up hustling. My mother taught me how to sell drugs, right? It ain't even like, oh, I just want to get out here on the block. No, I had a mother that was so hardcore, a mother that was so street, a mother that was just so involved in that lifestyle that she ain't play no games. So I ain't grew up with the hugs and the kisses and go to school and read this. I grew up with, man, get your ass out there and get this money. I grew up with, you bet not cry. I grew up with, you know what I'm saying, you got to go out here and make sure if you bring something home, that's how we going to survive. Right. So for me, I was introduced to drugs for one, by watching my mother do it. 2, I started out as the young little Tyler. They used to hide crack vials in my pamper. And like in the hood, how we look at it is the police not supposed to touch children. So they hide the crack vials on the kids and call the kids up and down the block. We transporting it. So I started out transporting young, you feel what I'm saying? Not even knowing that's what I'm doing. Right. Then as I got a little older, like 7, 6, I started out on the bike, riding the little pedal bikes, giving the signals to cars that we see the police, letting people know of who coming up and down the block, giving the warnings and shit like that, you feel what I'm saying? Right. And then as I got older, I'm responsible for getting my own packs. Right. Started out with my own pack. I was so smart street-wise that by the age 11, 12, I had my own block, I had my own team, I had my own crew. Right. I don't talk about this in the way of bragging. Right. I talk about this in the way of teaching and educating, because I want people to know, like, even though I come from that still don't just define me. Right. Even though I come from that, I'm still a great individual. I'm doing positive things. Right, absolutely. But my community, my environment, my parents, my structure is what poured that into me.
Right.
So if I'm waking up in a community where it's abandoned houses all up and down the block, and I wake up and go to sleep to that, in my mind, all I see and envision is brokenness. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
If
right,
I wake
sure.
up on a block where all the men hustling or going in and out of prison, if I'm on a block where a lot of the women are prostituting or getting high, if I'm in a community where kids not going to school, we just wheeling dirt bikes, wheeling mountain bikes, flipping off of mattresses, those things are fun. But if we doing it all day and there's no education in between, if there's no structure, there's nobody telling you go to school, get good grades, if you can hook all day and nobody care, if you can not go to class and the school still pass you along, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's no
yeah.
structure,
Yeah,
it's
no
no
structure,
discipline,
right,
there's
yeah.
no support. So in your mind, you feeling like, shit, I'm doing whatever I gotta do to survive.
Right.
You robbing, you stealing, you hustling, you selling drugs, you fighting, you happy to get the gun, you happy to sell the dope, because in your mind, that's what life is. You feel what I'm saying?
Right,
So
yeah.
that's how I grew up. So now my platform is to say, look, I was homeless, I lived on the street, I was a foster child, I grew up some days with no food, didn't know where my next meal was coming from, houses with no running water, no electricity. But right now, you're looking at a grown man that own properties
That's what's
in
up.
Baltimore City.
That's what's
I
up.
grew up 4 grade levels behind. I couldn't read, write, or count in a proficient grade level, right? I was the oldest in my class, but because I was a smaller stature dude and I looked young, they couldn't tell. Everybody thought I was the same age, but I was older than everybody.
Gotcha.
You feel what I'm saying? So I graduated later than my class.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying? But right now, you're looking at a man with a master's in education, and I graduated with honors from 2 colleges.
That's what's up.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's up. That's
So
what's up. Seriously.
my platform is just to show these young men and young girls like, yo, I done been through it and I done got to the next level, so can you. I done been shot my right shoulder, almost died from 1 bullet wound, almost bled out. I done been stabbed on my left side fighting in the street. I done been stabbed up in my hand. You know why? Because I grew up being known for fighting. You feel what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't know, like, if you're not part of a certain lifestyle with certain things you don't know and certain things people don't talk about. They got underground kid fights. Before UFC was big, that fighting, that UFC, that martial arts, that boxing, all that, they did that underground. They still do it underground. But what people don't know is just like they fight dogs illegally, chickens and roosters illegally, they fighting kids. I was one of those kids and I was a champion child. So I grew up with a reputation of, oh, shorty nice with his hands. You feel what I'm saying? So when the older dudes came home from prisons, they like, yo, y'all letting this little young nigga run this block, run this community, run this area? You feel what I'm saying? So they ain't look at me as wanting to fight. They wanted to blow me. You feel what I'm saying? So I watched one of my best friends lose his life in broad daylight. My best friend, dude came home from serving like 15 years. He was like, man, y'all like these little kids? People tell him like, yeah, they know, boom, boom, boom. Yo came out, poured the 40 out, my best friend, broad daylight. Instead of us running or like trying to get out of there, we stood like, man, fuck you. We had that attitude.
Right.
So, broad daylight, yo, blew my best friend brains on the wall. He went to put the gun at me. When I went to hit the gun, it like moved from my head down to my arm, so I got shot in my shoulder. You feel what I'm saying? So I tell these stories just to let people know, like, yo, I done been through it.
Yeah.
I done been through high levels of trauma,
Yeah.
high levels of
I
abuse,
can only imagine.
high
I was
levels.
gonna say, that's crazy.
But that's not what I'm out here promoting to people. Like, yo, that's what we supposed to be like. I'm letting people know, and a lot of my book talk about that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm letting people know, like,
I didn't want
even
to give it
though.
away because I was like, yo.
No, real talk. I just want people to know, like, what I stand for and why I do this work that I do. Because Larry not the only young man in our program. We got other young men. We got other young ladies. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like they respect me and believe in me and trust me and listen to me. You know why? Because one, I'm real with them. I'm raw. I'm honest. And I'm
Right.
always there. But not even just that, they can relate to me.
Right.
If they've been homeless before, I can relate because I've been there.
Right.
If they had problems in school, expelled, put out, been judged, been put down, people saying they bad child, people saying they dumb, I can relate because I've lived that.
Right.
If they been somebody who's saying, oh, you're a hustler, you're a thug, you're a villain, this and that, I've been there. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But I also can teach them and show them like, yo, this how you buy your first house. This how you work on your credit. This how you get your first car. This how you work on a resume.
Right.
This how you get a job.
Right.
So, that's what my platform about, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Like I said, I'm going to just clap that up right there. That's a lot. Because, for me, it's just like, that's a testimony, right? Because, like, for me, I went to private school, I went to public school. So I see the best of both worlds.
Right.
Public school is like, you fend for your own. You know what I'm saying? I went to Flowers High School. And, at that particular time, I'm seeing kids do all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, like the drugs, whatever. Like, it's kids that just, some that didn't care. So when it came to, fitting in, when you're born to stand out or try to do these things, like always trying to be part of the in crowd or trying to feel like you belong, or trying to be a tough guy. But in reality, you fighting your identity. I didn't really know who I was until I graduated, as a senior, because I'm going through all these things. I'm going through all the emotions, trying to figure out why is so-and-so around me, the energy. I wasn't mindful of it, right? And as I got older, I went to Bowie State University, graduated from there, communications major. Shout out to my professors. They were the ones that really got me on track with it. And I told myself that, eventually I have to be who I needed when I was younger.
Right.
Because, they need the guidance, they need the attention, they need the motivation, they need the education. That's the most important thing. And there's certain things that we're learning and adapting to right now that they may not see or feel like, oh, man, they don't even care about what we're going through. No, there's people that care. And you're one of those individuals, and I'm one of those individuals as well. So to see it in our community for our young men, what is it that you tell them every day? To remind themselves, because I feel like it's very, very hard with influence on what they see when we're talking about, maybe the music they listen to or the environments they in. What is it that affirmation that you give them on a consistent basis?
So for the kids, the young men and young ladies in my program, I let them know the real. You're going to have tough days. You're going to have days where your job not treating you right. You're going to have tough days when you run into things and have problems and issues and arguments with your family members. You're going to have times when your relationship's not going well. You're going to have times when you feeling like where your next dollar or maybe where your next meal or how you going to figure out to get to the next level. Those things going to happen in life. You can't just motivate a person and tell them and sell them dreams and false hopes. But you got to also tell them, even though those things going to happen, you got to be able to be strong, figure it out, and get through it. And how do you be strong, figure out, and get through it? Even those times that you might feel like you weak, you call on your brother or your sister or somebody that you love and respect that can help hold you together. You feel what I'm saying? Even the man that I am today, I even have people that I call when I feel like, yo, I'm in a space today. And they help guide and get me and motivate me out of that. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of times when Larry can call me, no matter what time of the day it is. If it's FaceTime, if it's regular phone, IG, text messages, I got pulled up on them on the block. Whereas we done shared tears together as men, as brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like these young men and young ladies that's with me, it's bigger than just they in my program. They family to me.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? And
right.
we all hold each other accountable.
Right.
So if he going through a hardship, he'll tell you, I'm talking him through it. We dealing with it. We trying to figure it out. How we gonna get you to the next level, bro? How we gonna get you out of that? I know it's hard right now, but you gotta stay strong. You gotta figure that out. If you're going through something, let me know. And if I can do it, I'm gonna be there. And if I don't have it, and if I can't figure it out, I'm gonna get you somebody in my network that can.
Gotcha.
You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not talking to them like every day gonna be peachy.
Every
day gonna be sunny.
Every day,
I let them know, like,
definitely give me that real advice. Like he'll tell me straight out the back. Like he motivates you sometimes, but if you sitting here like, yo, it's a shitty day today, I ain't really feeling it. He can be like, all right, step back, humble yourself, reflect, and then come back tomorrow and we're gonna try again. He don't let you just pause and sit in that moment of just depression. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
you'll just sit there and be like, all right, I'm depressed, nobody cares. No, he gonna actually help you.
That's what's up.
But if you don't want that help at that moment, he gonna step back. He gonna give you your time to breathe. But once you get back into that mood, once he see you starting to build yourself back up, he gonna instantly hit where you at.
Right, yeah. That's what's up, though, because I feel like we need more of that. You feel what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of that because, one, as men, it's hard to talk like this. Like, this conversation that we having right now, I salute y'all for even, like I said, coming on and sharing what it is that y'all been through and y'all hardships and y'all experiences, because it's hard for men to, even vent. We're not taught to. We're taught to survive.
Right,
we're taught to, okay, be tough. We taught to, all right, you don't even got to express how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you tough. You going to thug it out. What you crying for? That type of notion.
See, and that right there, I don't come with that approach. I done been with them through breakups with their girlfriends. I done been with them through losses of jobs, arguments and fights with mothers and fathers, problems in school, fights on the block. I done seen them go through so many different life changes and transitions. I'm not like, man, be tough, don't cry. Nah, bro, you got feelings, you got emotions. So if you need to shed that tear, bro, get that tear out. If you love that girl that much, but right now it ain't working out, bro, and you want to cry, or you want to get a drink, or you want to sip some water, or you want to go for a run, or you want to hit this gym, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever might fit you in your space in
sure.
your life, let's meet you there instead of saying, man, it's all these women out here, it's plenty fish. Nah, bro.
Right.
People really got feelings and emotions.
He really
Yeah.
definitely ain't lying though, cause even still though, like when I wanted to move on, he questioned me about my decisions. So I know it's real. If a person questions you about your own decision, he asks me like, "Oh, the rip, you sure that's what you want for yourself? Like, why you don't just reflect on it and just think about it and just, sit here and prosper about it and think about, like, the history that y'all got or
Right.
down to the words and the bond that y'all had. He don't just want you just up and just leave. He don't want you just make quick decisions.
Right,
like, not
yeah.
thinking. He don't want you to go off of your heart.
Right.
He wants you to really think about it. So it's like, I respect that of him. He don't just come in on some direct,
Right.
like, fatherly role.
Right,
You
right.
got people that just sit here and try to be a father to you.
Right.
I don't need no father figure. I need a brother. I need a person that I can look up to. I need a mentor.
Right, exactly.
I need a mentor. I need like what you call a therapist also.
Yeah,
all in
yeah.
one. So it's like instead of me running off and giving somebody else my money to talk to my problems, I talk to him about my problems.
Right,
I holler
yeah.
at him about certain stuff because
And
he
we hold
knows
each
the
other.
real.
We hold each other accountable.
Right.
We hold each other accountable, man, and that's big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's big, and especially as brothers, especially as men, and especially as black men. Because in the community, a lot of us are taught that we have to be so strong and not show no emotions. And a part of that is the reason why we out here killing each other so recklessly. We out here showing each other no love. Because a lot of us don't know how to properly love or feel and express our own emotions.
Right.
So when you grow up in these communities and these environments and you don't know how to express yourself, you don't know how to love yourself, you don't know how to treat your own family, good, how are you going to be able to love, respect, or treat somebody else good if you only had that for yourself? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for them, man, I let them know, like, not only do you got to love yourself, respect yourself, but how does your actions reflect on your next month,
Right.
your next 6 months,
Right.
your next 2 years? A lot of people don't think further than a day, bro.
Right, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's a fact, yeah.
You
A lot of
might
people don't think
lash
long term.
out.
You're
Yeah,
right,
you
right,
might
right.
lash out today and not understand how that reaction or response can reflect on your life and your influence or something in your future that you did 5 years ago that people still holding against you.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So, that's a part of who
and that's
who
what
it
I was
is.
saying too, because like for me, I had to grow from certain things and certain environments. Like people were accustomed to like old versions of you. Like, oh yeah, I remember what you did in your past, and it's like everything could be on the ups, and it's like, yeah, you only remember me for that. Like,
Right.
you
And
remember
that,
me for that.
bro.
Trust me,
That is
I've
different.
been there.
That
So it's
is
like,
different.
yo, this is a
that is
transformation. Because
different.
like I said, for me, the pandemic has really like birthed this baby for me when it comes to the podcast and things like that. Really betting on myself because I was a poetic person. I used to write poetry a lot.
Spit
You know what I'm
something.
saying? And do that. You know what I'm saying? That's
Spit
fine.
something.
You said spit something.
Don't say you do.
All right, yeah.
Don't say you got that.
gonna
Don't
want you.
say
I
he
got
got
you.
He
I
gonna
got
want you
you.
his
So
son.
like this was
anything about me, bro.
Yeah, I
Anywhere
got
I
you.
go and somebody tell me they do poetry,
on it.
spoken word, rap or
on
something,
it. Yeah.
I want to hear.
You on it.
All right, so it's JAYFLOW, word to the competition. I tell them that I'll punish you like a bad dog in the cage, man. I'll muzzle you. Crosswords for a second. The situation is puzzle. Ooh, I'm back at it. I'm cool and I'm living lavish, being attractive like a savage. Yeah, I never had it. Yeah, I seen the ghetto and yeah, I seen the ratchet. My favorite number is 4, but my life ain't fantastic. Leave it at that.
Okay.
So the thing about that was, for me at that particular point in my time, like I said, I went to private school and I went to public school. So I wrote that in a mix of, that was probably like my freshman or sophomore year. But just remembering that and how it resonates with me because I grew up in Hyattsville and now I live in, Upper Marlboro. So people will be like, okay, well, you don't live in that area anymore, or things like that. You see a lot of things because people are influenced by, people they see, music they listen to, things like that. And now, in a time being, I tell people all the time, man, like, it's so many young boys, not enough J. Cole's. That's how I look at it,
man.
right?
Yeah,
Because
he said the same thing though.
yeah, because it's like it's to me, we have to be mindful of what we consume because we are what we entertain and attract. So that's what I looked at it as, and I was just like, okay, well, why is it happening this way? But 9 times out of 10, like a scenario, if it's 4 people outside and you the 5th person that's outside, 9 times out of 10, if 4 people are doing some, negative, you probably be the 5th.
Right.
Or if 4 people are doing something positive, you probably be the 5th to do something, positive because of what you see.
But a lot of it is influence, bro. And you have to understand that a lot of people aren't leaders. Most people don't think for themselves. Most people follow what you call waves, and most people follow others. So if you don't have influence of yourself and you're looking for someone else to lead you, you're gonna get caught up in that. So even though my young guys, they still listen to the bang bang shoot 'em up ratchet music, but I teach and tell them, yo, you can listen to that as entertainment,
right?
But are you out here trying to really react it and relive it? See, that's the problem. A lot of these kids growing up trying to react and relive these lyrics that they hear instead of understanding that might just be an entertaining type lyric or a bar, or some people never even live that life, they just rapping it. Right? So these are the things that people don't understand. Like, you can watch a movie, and that movie might showcase crime, violence, prostitution, killing, all type of stuff. But if you can see that movie for what it is as a movie, even though these things are going out in real life, can you decipher from entertainment, television, radio, magazines versus real life?
Right.
I'm not saying these things not going on in real life, but what I am saying is some people don't have to live that way. Some people never grew up living that way, but some people literally go and run to it because they are influenced by it.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Got a lot to do with social media.
Yeah.
The media. If the media wasn't so strong, that's really what control the world right now. You know, the media. So whatever the media put out is what we take upon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for instance, the media can tell you right now the world ended in 24 hours. If it's spread long enough, somebody gonna believe that.
Right.
So it's all about what we paying each other. Like, for instance, if I watch the news every day and all I hear is killing on the news, and if I go on social media and all I see is killings, and then I'm used to that being around, and I'm saying this in my neighborhood every day, that's my perspective. That's what I'm used to. I done basically, even though I'm not in those situations, I'm living those situations. So I see that moments and carrying on and carries on and it goes and forever. So it's like, until you step out of that comfort zone and really try to push away from that narrative, you won't be able to escape it.
Right.
So it's like, it's hard, but at the same time, it's all about what you take upon. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for instance, I can sit here and live in the hood, but I can go to, like you said, a private school. You know, I can sit here and be around a whole bunch of people who do crimes, but I can hang with Wesley.
Right.
A lot of my friends are still in the streets, but they come to me because they know he be around somebody that's doing a positive role.
Right.
I want to get out the street. I don't want to do this.
Pause on that really quick, because that was a good point.
Gotcha.
So what Larry just said was a lot of his homeboys still out there on the block. Larry used to be on the block heavy. Larry used to really be out there. You feel what I'm saying? But he has influence over his young boys, whereas those, they not fully out of it, but if they go and do something, need to figure something out, they know he's somebody they can come to. You know why? Because they know he has somebody. So on like a ripple effect, what I'm pouring into him is trickling down to some of them, because tell him how old you are, Larry.
I'm 20 years old.
He 20 years old. If y'all paying attention, if you hear his mindset, the way he's articulating himself, the way he's speaking, the way he's carrying himself, a lot of that is growth and happens over years of development of he picking up stuff from me, he learning stuff from me, certain verbiage, way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you act, the way you interact with people. So the influence that I have on him is a trickle-down effect of the influence he have on his other young boys, right? Gotcha. So it's young fellas that they hung out and been around us, that they came around me because what they heard from him. Gotcha. So now they around me because of what they learned and heard from him. So now they like, oh, who is, you feel what I'm saying? Right. And a lot of the things, the work that I do, a lot of it is word of mouth. Like, yo, who the dude that be out there? And a lot of times in our community, bro, we scared of each other. Yeah. And I'm gonna give you an example. It might be 5, 10, or 15 young boys just standing on the corner, chilling. That might just be their chill or hangout spot on that corner in front of that store. They might not even be hustling. Or some might be hustling, some might not be. That might be just a chill spot. A lot of the people in the community won't even go interact with them because you see 5, 10, or 15 black young men on the corner chilling. Me, Nah, I walk up to him, bro. What's up with y'all young boys? What's up with you young fella? What's up, soldier? What's up, King? How you feeling? And I spark a conversation.
Right.
That conversation turns into something that develops into a deeper bond. They like, yo really walked up on us. And a lot of them be like, damn, Mr. Hawkins, the older generation don't even speak to us. They don't wave, they don't say nothing. And then when I connect with the older generation and ask them questions, they be like, man, ain't nobody fooling with those kids. Them kids dangerous. Them kids this, them kids that. My point of this segment, what I'm saying is, those young men is still somebody's son, grandson, brother, cousin, uncle, father. And if we start treating people like human beings, like they're still somebody's family, maybe we can reel more of them in and start pouring positivity into their mind. And I tell the mothers and the women, you can't change that man, but if you tell him every day, I love you, babe, maybe you could try something else. Maybe instead of robbing, maybe let's go do this. Maybe let's figure that out. Maybe let's try this. If you start pouring that into their head, you're not going to never save 100% of nothing.
Right.
But you can start changing some lives if you start pouring more positive influence. So I just wanted to jump in real quick what he said, because I've met so many young fellas that, not even just from the work that I do, but from him and other young men being up under me, they talking about me and they hearing and learning about me from them.
Right.
So how he's living and changing his life, he different. You feel what I'm saying? And tell him, give him a little bit about your older brother, bro, because that's another piece of something that he got to grow up and see and experience.
Yeah, all right. So my oldest brother, his name is Hawkins. He been in jail since 2014. Wow. He has 18 years. We was living out Cherry Hill at the time that he got arrested. So it was a point of time that it started off with minor stuff like selling drugs or robbing, stealing, and that's when they built it up. He started actually trying to rob banks. He started actually trying to kill, harm, you know what I'm saying? So his mind spec just kept growing lower and lower and lower. So it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm watching him, mind you. I was already entwined with like street stuff at this particular time. So I'm already like choosing to either jump out that porch or take a different route.
Influence.
So yeah, it's like that influence that it was definitely influence. He definitely was grabbing my attention with the stuff that he had going on. So I'm like, damn, you just came back with that new chain, but he'd tell me out the back. You know how I got that chain? I had to hurt for that. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's how you get items. That's how you get somewhere, right? Until the judge hit him with 18 years at the age of 16. So he got waived over as an adult instantly because he took a car from a lawyer. It was a lawyer. He took a car from a lawyer right there in front of Baby Buttons. He crashed and hit a judge and put them into shock trauma. And he got caught with a handgun on it. My handgun inside the car. So they gave him 18 years, and now he's still in there. He's 25 now. I was little. I was very young. He was 16. He's 25 now. He's still doing time. I guess they're trying to jeopardize and double his time, but I don't know how that's working, but he's still doing time. He's going to do his time all the way through the door, but now he's suffering like every day. Like he's going through it every day, suffering because of one mistake. And right now he wish he could turn around and he wish he could be in the shoes that I was and watch somebody else go through it, because it's like now he look at it like, damn, it wasn't worth nothing that he's going through now. Like your freedom is worth more than anything out here. Your freedom is worth everything. Right, so absolutely. It's like you just basically gave someone your ticket for your life. You know what I'm saying? So now that you gave back, you basically a slave again. Right. Like that's basically what you are again. Like you basically just turned yourself into a slave again. Now they control you. Now they tell you when to wake up. Now they tell you when to use the bathroom. And it's like I looked at that and I'm like, I don't want to go through that. Right. So I was already screaming for help. I was already like, I ain't trying to go through this every day. I ain't trying to sit here and trying to find a way to feed my family. I ain't trying to watch my little brothers, because that's what I was bound to do. You know, I was always in the house watching my little brothers every single day. So it was never a time that I wasn't in the house. So it was like once I did get outside, and once I did, I always doing negative stuff. So I was screaming for help. And when he showed up in my life at that particular moment, I'm like, yo, this was my way out. This is my ticket. Instead of my ticket being into somebody's cell, being a slave again, this is my ticket to become a boss. This is my ticket to become a man. This is my ticket to mature. So everything that he took, like at first, honestly, I wasn't saying yes, ma'am, no, sir. I wasn't greeting myself. I wasn't shaking a black man's hand. I would walk right past you, I'd mug. But now it's like I look at people for not who they are or what their appearance, but because of their backstory, what they've been through. Right. So it's like
now that he like joined my life, it's like I matured in so many ways that I didn't realize until I started saying the little stuff I was doing. Like at first I'd be in the house watching my little brother. I catch an attitude. My mom outside, she doing whatever, right? I didn't even realize in my head, I'm like, yo, she outside, she enjoying herself. I'm the child. Whole time she working a 9 to 5, stressing, and just want a little time to herself. And just leave my little brothers on me so it could be a little peaceful time.
Right.
But it was like I sit here and go back and forth with her every day, and it's just like causing more conflict instead of me just like taking time and just be like, okay, you're an adult, you putting food in the house, you're struggling, you're going through this many problems. Like us kids, we don't think about what our parents go through. We always are so self-centered. You know what I mean?
I like that.
So it's like,
You sure you're 20?
yeah, no, I'm 20 though.
I'm just saying because
real
like
talk,
I said, the reason why I said that is because it's like your mindset. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking like you're 20.
Bro,
That's more. You feel what I'm saying?
I had to mature.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
I said, I didn't have no father. My mom was always in and out the door. She working, or she's trying to find a way to put food in our mouth. Stepfathers come around, petty people, low, dirty. They doing anything. They act so type of ill. So it's like I'm like, all right, I have to mature up. I have to find a way to help my brothers.
Right.
So it was even I was going to take the negative route or the positive. I was stuck in between at first. At that moment that he showed up at that exact school, and he, out of everybody, I'm watching all them. I'm like, who going to come up to me? Who going to really be a man and show these kids how to manifest and be a boss? He the only person out of all of them. They sitting back all on their phone. They to me, it was like they just getting the money. They getting the bag. They trying to get the bag and go.
Right.
Wesley, though, he sat there. He walked up to me, man to man, looked me dead in my eyes. Yo, take my number down. I'm like, take your number down? I'm like, all right, cool. He like, holler at me if you ever need me. That night that I called him, I'm like, yo, I'm going through something. My mom's be fussing. I look at the time like, I know it's 11 o'clock. He like, nah, I'm on my way. You on your way?
Right.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm in the hood. Every day, somebody even get shot or robbed. I'm living in Lexington Terrace. The crime rate is, like I said, high. I'm by between Martin Luther King and Lexington Market. So I'm right there in front of both. So it's like, it's so much addicts and people that do drugs down there. It's like a town full of addicts. Like, it's just like they own little town. So it's like, I was bound to be in this poverty route, I was born into this. I moved from east to south to west. I always had problems with people. I always wonder why, though. Like, why am I always getting into these situations? Why am I always being blamed for something? Or why am I always having to fight? Or why am I always having to do the negative impacts that they bound to put on the black man anyway? It was like I had to step out of that, though. I had to learn that it's actually a route. I had to learn that it takes time to reflect and just to build yourself up as a characteristic and just look at everything that is worth. And that's what we, as us humans, us black men, need to start doing, because if we don't, all we're going to do is drop every day. Like, us humans, we don't even pay attention to what's really going on. Like, they don't even know that the dollar is not worth what it used to be no more.
Right.
But we paying attention to who shot the ball first and who died and what rapper doing this and who this and who. It's irrelevant,
Right.
It's irrelevant to the real world situation.
And I want to just commend you, what I'm saying, and definitely give you a round of applause.
Appreciate
because
it.
The thing about that is, like, to think like that, to go through all these things, man, and you could have pushed the negative button so many times and you chose not to.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I salute you for that, because it's hard. Because you look at influence and you look at what's around you. You could have done it, but you didn't.
We didn't have setbacks, man.
I would say we didn't have big setbacks.
That's a part of it, and that's a part of it.
That's the part of growth.
Yeah. The growth, the commitment, the consistency, right? And what I mean by we didn't have setbacks, like when the young men and young girls, when we all get together and do the things, it ain't always about reading and writing, but it ain't always about going out and having fun either. Right. Nor is it always about serving the community. It's a mixture of different things. We got things where we get together and we read books, we study, we watch documentaries. You feel what I'm saying? But we break it down to see what that means. It's times where we do community cleanups. We done cleaned up certain communities all over Baltimore.
Right.
Whereas those people know us for doing certain things, like, yo, got the kid, they won't come clean up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. But it's not just about cleaning up somebody's trash. When we out there, we connecting with people, we bonding with people, we talking to people, asking them how their day going, we building relationships, and then we also educating them on the reason why they shouldn't be trashing that community, right? So it's a lot of things that we've been through, but it's also been setbacks where we got young men that been rocking with us for years. They done got locked up, and we had to rock with them and get them out of that. They done been in front of the judge and in court. You know what I'm saying? They done lost jobs or had so many hardships of like, Mr. Hawkins, I don't know, we on this positive route, but there's some money over here. I need to go, and then you gotta go re-grab them and re-reel them in. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of it, man. So it ain't always through this journey, like everything all peaches and cream and positive. Nah, man, I done had.
I would say, but for one thing for certain though, even though it ain't all peaches and cream, he find a way to make it so where as though you comfortable with eating the food that he's allowing you. You know what I'm saying? Like he finds a way regardless. Like for instance, like he just said, and I want to piggyback off that. Oh, Mr. Hutt, there's some money over here. There's some money over here too. Come fix this house with me. I give you $200 right now. Fix a house with you? Bet. You get an experience that you never had. You know what I mean? So while you outside trying to flip money, he's showing you the real world. Like he's showing you hard laborship. He's showing you how to make money, how to flip and hold on to money. So it's like I respect everything that come with it. So I'm not just going to grasp off just to be like, all right, yeah, even though this is a quick flip out there, I can make $200 right now easily, right? Cool. But I want to learn how to make $2 million in 3 years. And that's where this is at.
Right.
So it's like the fast money cool, you know? The fast money fine. That's for them, you know? But it come with, you got to watch your back every day. Mm-hmm. You could die. Jail. Somebody hating on you. It's so much you got to deal with. It's like you got a life point, and it's all we up 100, right? We're going to say 100%.
Right.
The more that you out there, it drops. Mm-hmm. The percentage of your life drops. I feel as though me standing out the way, my percentage stand at a good minimum. It's standing where it's supposed to be at, and I'm still making enough money, and I'm still being able to afford the things I want. I just got to work harder for it. I just got to grind harder for it. So at the end of the day, you made that $500, but what you bought with, you're not going to respect, and you're not going to feel as much as a church that I did because I actually grind and I worked for mine. I sweated and I blood tears for it.
That was a good point. Like, I
like that.
I didn't even think about
wait.
that.
You sure you're 20?
I
ain't saying that because it's like I said, the mindset once again. Because like I said, what you telling at 20, like I said, I wish that I knew. You know what I'm saying, when I started college, I wish. You feel
but that comes into who might. It don't matter where you at sometimes.
Okay.
It's a matter about who comes into your space and in your life.
Right.
Like what Larry was just saying. I get contracts, and the contracts might be remodel this bathroom, remodel this kitchen, or do a tear out, do a demolition job. When I'm doing these things, they with me. You feel what I'm saying? So however much the job is, they getting a percentage of that. And not only are they getting money in their pockets, they learning how to do this work. Right. So it's real life experience on. You can take that to your own house. If something happens, you gotta fix or model. You can do that to your own house and not pay somebody. Right. Or you can take this and get a job doing some type of contractual work because you done learned it over here.
Right.
Or you can go to school and get your community service hours. Or you just doing it on the side with me, put some money in your pockets and learning the experience. And that's what he was explaining. Like, I'm not just, one thing I learned is, I'm not just in their life trying to preach and talk. I'm trying to teach them how to eat themselves.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? If you want to start a business, let's look at the documentation. Let's look at the steps that it take to start this business. I ain't gonna just be like, oh yeah, boy, you can be anything you want to be. Just figure it out.
Nah, you actually,
what do you want to do, bro? You tell me what it is you want to do, and what we gonna do is the research and figure out the steps that it takes to get there. And once we figure out the steps that it takes to get there, now I'm gonna hold you accountable for implementing those things that it needs to take to get there. You know why? Because that's what I needed. You dig what I'm saying? And I ain't had that. So I'm 35. And I'm established and I'm good. However, and it's not on some not being grateful. If I had who I am or somebody different at the age of a teenager in my life, a lot of the things that I experienced in my life, bro, I would have never experienced. So being shot, if I wasn't in that environment or living that way, I should have never been shot.
Right.
Being stabbed twice, I shouldn't have never been in the high levels of fights I'd have been in, but I lived that. You feel what I'm saying? Selling drugs or doing violent things in the community. If I had somebody teaching me and saying, shorty, do this, instead of, here, shorty, hold this 40. Here, shorty, take this pack, bring me back. You feel what I'm saying? That's what was trained and taught for me. So if I had somebody saying, nah, Lil P, you come do this, and we going to put a couple dollars in your pocket, but you learn how to draw this picture or build this wall or fix this car. That's my point. Sometimes if you have the proper person and support around you, man, you can turn out to be some of the best people in the world. Yeah, but if you have somebody always around you pouring negativity into you, then the same influence, let me close it out like this. The same influence I have over with them on a positive, I can have the same influence negative. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm from the street. I can still carry myself like, man, this. You feel what I'm saying? Right. I can choose that if I want, and I can have a whole bunch of young boys running behind me on some big guala, kill, bang, bang, because I got that influence. And if I wanted to live that way and had them out here, if I wanted to guide his mind in a different way, like, man, let's go out here and rob and steal, because of that respect, a lot of them will ride with me and go do that. But I wouldn't put them in that predicament. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell them, yo, let's go rob this, let's go steal, let's go take this person out. My whole point is, it's about a lot of the times who come into your life and what they mean and their experience and their mindset themselves. Because I, as a 35-year-old man, that'll be 36 in February, I could have took the route of, all right, I'm gonna influence these kids to be on some robbing, killing, stealing, and I can have a whole little line of kids behind me living reckless. Or I can influence them off of the experience that I've been through, that they know, yo, Mr. Hawkins real because you really lived it. I ain't just some random dude that's just trying to tell them and talk to them. They know, like, yo, he really been through it. You dig what I'm saying? But he not even kicking it towards on some negative stuff. Bro, I used to rap. I used to do all type of stuff. So living in the streets ways, though, used to hustle, rap, fight. I'm known for big cars and always having money to, man, yo, a community change agent now. Yo, educated. Yo, helping the people. Yo, an activist. Yo, doing this. People come up to me and be like, boy, I'm so proud of you, man. Yo, thank you for what you're doing. This, that, this. And I get that so much, but I tell the brothers all the time, they be like, damn, Wes, you changed, yo. I wish I could be like that. You can. It's your choice. You don't let nobody else have no power over you. I don't care about nobody saying, oh, he always talking positive. Yeah, I am. You feel what I'm saying? If you don't like the positivity that's on my page, if you don't like the positivity that I speak into this world, if you don't like the positivity that I bring, then don't be around me. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's what, like I said, for me personally, like I said, when I was going through the gram, I was saying that. And it was just like, yo, like, it was just influential in what you was doing and even saying that. Because, like, sometimes people want to just, you know, look at social media as highlights. You literally have a platform where you're just showing the process and falling in love with the process. And you were comfortable with who you were and you wanted the world to see who you were.
Bro, my page all positive.
I
got,
positive.
You feel what I'm saying? I got money in the bank too, bro. I could be out here with the
flash.
big,
No, I already said he could be doing that.
I showed them.
I already said he could really flash, but it's like,
they seen bank accounts and stuff that I got. I could be out here with an arm full of money to my ear too, telling the kids, yeah, dummy, blah, blah. Nah. If I'm pouring out money and showing them thousands of dollars, I'm telling them, look, this 10 or 15 or 20 or 30,000, I'm about to go put down on investment property.
Yeah, because he showed me a check like for 10,000, right? For instance, showed me a check for 10,000, right? Another person, like for instance, another OG showed me 10,000. Like, yeah, I'm ready to spend this on da. He straight out the bat, oh yeah, this 10,000, this is an investment move. I'm ready to take this 10,000, I'm ready to flip it, I'm ready to buy a house, I'm gonna gut it, and I'm gonna finish it, and I'm gonna clean it up, and I'm gonna make it look good, and I'm gonna sell it to somebody else. Flip
so
my
that
money.
process
I'm
right
like,
there,
okay, that's
you
smart.
feel what I'm saying? I was going to an auction. So the auction at the time, it was a $10,000 deposit for the property, right? A lot of deposits start at like 1,000 or like 2,000, but this particular property, they wanted 10 grand. So I'm telling my kids, like, look, y'all know I got money, but I ain't in front of y'all telling y'all, oh, I'm about to buy a big chain for 10,000. Cool, I'm not knocking nobody for doing that, but my point is, I'm showing them with this 10 or 15 or 20 or 30,000 or 50,000 or 100,000, whatever I have that I can show them. I'm showing them like, look, you can take this 10 grand, put a deposit down, win this property, and then now you win that property, you clean it up, do what you gotta do cosmetically, and then now you can rent that property out and you can make such and such per month, or you can fix it up and sell it, and then you can make such and such over that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not one of the type of individuals that's gonna be like, yo, you see, I got this 40,000 right here. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Obviously, he don't do all that
I'm not
flashing.
knocking y'all, so I don't want nobody to be offended. I'm telling
Right.
you, it's different perspectives
Yeah,
on life. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I can do that same thing, but I choose not to. I can take my money that I make and be like, oh, I'm jewelry down and this and that. No, it's about investments. It's about your legacy. It's about what you leave into your family, what you leaving for your kids, what you leave into your community. How are you showing your kids or your community or your family that you changed? What are you leaving behind when you leave this earth? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, I know in like one of my other jumps, another bar, since, you know, back on the poetry tip, I was basically saying being gangsters, taking care of your fam, not flexing for the work or getting caught up on the gram. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, I would
Because
say
that's
yeah.
you know, we look at that and, you know, we want to wear rich as opposed to think rich. And I think that's what you're doing with, you know, your program. You're giving them options and opportunities to, you know, grow and expand, you know, on the mental tip, the spirituality tip, the physical tip, emotional tip, whatever it
Exposure.
is, and exposure.
It's
Right.
exposure, man.
Exposure.
A lot of the times, giving people that exposure to things that they never experienced before can change your whole life and change your whole perspective on this world. Exposure is everything, man. Like, seriously, even if somebody don't give you $1, if they can give you a different level of exposure to this world, they can change and spark something in your mind that can change your complete way of thinking. And I'll give an example. Like, foster care was kind of like a gift and a curse sometimes. I say it was a curse because it took me away from my friends, my family, my community, my loved ones, my mother, my brothers and sisters, and it broke us up in a tender time of my life, whereas those I didn't get to grow up and see them for a long time because I was in foster care. But the different perspective on foster care gave me that perspective and that exposure that I would never have gotten and experienced if I only lived in the hood. You feel what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So in the hood, the whole block was abandoned, basically. In the hood, kids didn't go to school. In the hood, we ain't had no green grass. In the hood, nobody holds you accountable. In the hood, the schools were doing poor, but you still passed. But when I went in foster care for those years, I seen communities that was bigger houses, not abandoned, wasn't trash in all the gutters. It was green grass. Kids had to go to school, or the adult was held accountable. When you went to school, you had to do the work or you wasn't passing. You know what I'm saying? Just a different exposure and different life. Or you can go on a different level. A lot of the times in our community, we might think making $50,000 or $60,000 a year is a lot of money. But there's levels in life. There's people out here that make $60,000 in 1 month. And then you got a different level. There's people that make $60,000 in one transaction. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you got a bigger level. It's people that make $60,000 maybe in one day. So in life, is your perspective and it's what you're around. If you're around a whole bunch of people who the bare minimum is what their life is, you might be comfortable and think that's okay until you get into a different position and you see like, damn, you're making $150,000 a year. And then you get into another circle and everybody making $300,000. So now that 150 is not even that much to people that's making $3.
Right.
Then now you get to somebody who making $1 million a year. So he looking at, I'm making $1 million a year. Your little 250 is nothing to my million.
Right.
And then again, you go bigger. It's somebody that make 20 million a year. So you're 1 million. My whole point is your perspective and your exposure to this world and to life. Somebody can show you something different that can just change your whole world. And that's what I try to do. Show them different things to change their whole world and way of thinking.
For sure, man, for sure. Like I said, I appreciate y'all for, you know, taking the time out y'all schedule to wanting to have this conversation. I think it's a beautiful thing when, you know, men just come together and just talk. Like I said, please make sure that y'all get this man's book, Mr. Hawkins' book. Please make sure that y'all get this because, like I said, I was inspired. I came across it, saw it, copped it. I love to read. So I read it and I was inspired. I followed him. I had a conversation, and like I said, now we had this episode,
I
and
appreciate it.
It definitely was inspiring for me. And like I said, I passed it on to some other people as well too. And I just salute people that are doing great things in the community. Keep doing what you do. I wish you the best on everything that you do, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. In any way I can support, know what I'm saying? I definitely will be there. And like I said, I appreciate you, young
For
boy,
sure,
for coming
for
on
sure.
and sharing your story as well and how you made that connection with him as well. Is there any motivation that you want to give these people before we get up out of here?
Before we leave, I just want to say, check it out. Dear No Leader, The Evolution of an Addict's Son. It's
Please make
on
sure.
Amazon, 5-star rated right now. You can also follow me on social media, Dear No Leader, DEAR_NOLITA. And you can send me a message. And I got hard copies. And when I mail out hard copies, they will be signed. But what I'll leave with you today is, no matter what you're going through today, no matter what you've been through in your past, you still are great. You can still be successful, but you got to put that hard work in. Nobody's just going to come give you nothing, and you shouldn't expect for somebody just to come give you anything. Get up, work hard for it, grind. And after you work hard for what you have, you put your money and investments to allow yourself to not to have to work hard no more. You let your money work hard for you. But until you can get to a position that your money works hard for you, you work hard for it so you won't be at the bottom or struggling or bare minimum. So get up and go get it.
For the younger viewers, I just want to say this for y'all. Negativity is a stepping stone. Positivity is a boulder. So push that out the way and then walk over your stepping stones and keep it going. That's how you live life.
I would just say for the people that haven't even started on anything or not even knowing what their goals are or their desires are, just take a piece of paper and write it down. Sometimes you have to really see it. You have to see it, be it, then achieve it. And, you have to inspire before you expire. It doesn't matter how it is, how it's going. You just got to start. You got to stay through. You got to trust the process. Just trust this process. Just trust it, no matter what. No matter what you go through, your emotions, it's temporary. Whatever you're going through right now is temporary. But it's a long-term game. It's a long-term game. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. Mm-hmm. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. Mm-hmm. And we out. I appreciate y'all so much.
Appreciate
you, man. Appreciate you.